start with third unit, that is theory of probability. Now whenever we perform any experiment repeatedly under essentially homogeneous and similar condition, we get certain outcomes, and these certain outcomes can be classified as follows. Now we can classify them either in unique or certain category, or second thing is non-definite, and this non-definite is also called as uncertain. Now the first one, unique or certain. Now these are some examples of unique or the certain events. Now suppose we will talk about perfect gas, that is Boyle's law. Volume will be always inversely proportional to pressure, or we can say volume into pressure is going to give us a constant. So this is never going to change. So this is a certain event. Other thing is, if you are calculating distance covered by a particle after a certain time t, it is always calculated using this particular formula. So again it is also a certain event. Now the second thing, that is non-definite or uncertain category. So it is also called as a probabilistic phenomena, wherein you cannot say certainly that the particular event is going to happen. For example, suppose we are talking about sales. Now at the end of a day, even though the manager is going to give a target, it is not certain that it is going to achieve that target or not. It depends on so many other factors. Similarly, lifespan of an electric bulb. Even though suppose we have a bulb for using a bulb for last suppose 1 year, we cannot say anything about the next year. We cannot say anything about future lifespan of that particular electric bulb. Similarly, if we are tossing a coin, uniform coin, or we can say unbiased coin, you may get head or tail. Again it is not certain. We cannot say that this time we are going to get head or we can get tail. Similarly, the next one, demand of a product, the future demand of a product. Again, even though certain product is going too well, we cannot say about future of that particular product. So these all are the uncertain or probabilistic phenomena, wherein you cannot predict outcomes of this. Now all these phenomena we are going to study in depth. So it is nothing called as a theory of probability. So this is one of the branch of statistics wherein you deal with uncertain phenomena, and it is called as a theory of probability. So we will be studying three approaches of this probability. One is classical approach, empirical approach, and axiomatic approach. Now before going to these approaches, we have to get familiarized with certain terminologies. Okay? So let me start with first, that is random experiment. Now when any experiment is conducted repeatedly under essentially homogeneous condition, the result is not unique but may be any one of the various possible outcomes. For example, same thing, suppose I am tossing a unbiased coin, we can either get head or tail. So these are the possibilities, we can get either head or tail. So we can get any one of them, but with certainty we cannot say that we are going to get only head or only tail. So such experiment is called as a random experiment. Next, trial or event. Now when we are performing a random experiment, it is called as a trial, and whatever outcomes we are getting is called as an event. Like suppose we are tossing a coin. So tossing a coin is a trial. Getting head or tail becomes an event. Same for die. Suppose I am tossing a die, throwing a die. So throwing a die is a trial, wherein getting any one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, any one of these numbers is called an event. Okay. Next, exhaustive cases. Exhaustive cases is nothing but the total number of possible outcomes for the experiment. Now suppose I am tossing a coin, only one coin. Now all possible cases are just head and tail. So these are the exhaustive cases for that particular experiment. Now suppose I am tossing 2 coins. So I can get either both heads, both tails, first head, second tail, or first tail, second head. So these are the 4 possible cases. So these are called as exhaustive cases when we are tossing 2 coins. Now suppose I am tossing a die. What we can get is, I can get either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, any one of these 6 numbers. So again these are the exhaustive cases for a die. Okay. Now next is favorable cases or events. The number of outcomes of a random experiment which results in happening of an event is called as favorable cases or favorable events. Like in a toss of a coin, suppose I need only those events wherein I am getting exactly 1 head. So in how many cases I am getting exactly 1 head? It is either this head tail or tail head wherein I am getting exactly 1 head. Let me write all possible cases wherein we are tossing 2 coins. So if I am tossing 2 coins, either I can get both heads, first head, second tail, first tail, second head, or both the tails. Now in these 4 exhaustive cases, how many times I am getting exactly 1 head? It is here and in this case. So in this case, getting exactly 1 head is 2. So favorable cases for an event of getting exactly 1 head is nothing but 2, and that is head tail and tail head, wherein we are getting exactly 1 head. Now suppose I want to find favorable cases for getting both the heads, then it is going to be only 1. Next, mutually exclusive event. Now suppose we have 2 or more events. Now 2 or more events are said to be mutually exclusive if happening of any one of them excludes the happening of all others in the same experiment. It means that happening of one is not going to be dependent on the happening of second one. Okay. Now again same thing, if I am tossing a coin, getting a head and getting a tail is mutually exclusive because it does not affect each other at all, provided it has to be unbiased coin. So you may either get head or tail. There are like 50-50% chances of getting a head or getting a tail. So they are not going to affect each other. So such kind of a event are called as mutually exclusive event. Similarly, if I talk about a die, getting 1 till 6, again getting 1 and getting 2, they are not going to affect each other. So they are also mutually exclusive events. Next one, equally likely cases. Now if none of them is expected to occur in a preference to other, for example, the same example, head tail, now there are 50% chances of getting head and there are 50% chances of getting tail. So they are not going to affect each other. So they have like half of chances. Similarly, if I talk about a die, getting 1 is not going to affect getting 2, or it is not even going to affect getting 6. So all these 6 numbers, like getting either 1 or 2 or 3 or even 4, 5 or 6, they have equal chances of appearing. So they are called as the equally likely cases. So none of them is expected to occur in preference to other. Okay. Then last one, we have independent event. Now if happening of any one of them is not affected by and does not affect the happening of any one of the others, it means they are not going to affect each other at all. For example, if we are tossing a die repeatedly, okay, if I am tossing die 4 times, now tossing a die first time and getting 5 on that first die, and then again tossing a die for second time and again getting 5 is not at all dependent on each other, they are totally independent. So such kind of events are called independent events. Again, if I am tossing it for third time, again getting 5 on that particular die, it is again not going to affect the happening of first or second. So, this kind of events are called as a independent events.